Yes, well, as we mentioned, we begin with what was supposed to be a make or break meeting today. But the Kenya National Union of Teachers has actually decided to give the government 10 more days to get its act together before a final meeting to end the deadlock. But here's the twist to the tale. The KNUT position is actually different from that of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, which has warned that it could issue a 7-day strike notice within the next 24 hours. Now, Catherine Omanto has been following the events at that meeting in Nairobi's Upper Hill. We go to her now. Kathy, what is the latest from that meeting?
Well, the latest was that uncharacteristic announcement by Wilson Sossion. Obviously, such meetings prior or in the past events, we've always expected that this is the time when they make the strike announcement or they say that there was a stalemate, because there's always normally a stalemate between the unions and the government. Now, this meeting was called by the government and the Teachers Service Commission to try and find a middle ground so that they give them what they want. As you know, it was a collective bargaining agreement that hasn't been met. And as Sossion says, it's been a discussion since 2012. But I'd like the audience to just listen to this uncharacteristic announcement, which is probably good news for parents across the country.
Though the patience of the teachers has completely run out, we ask our members, we are not going to suffer if we give them 1 more week. I think we shall be benevolent enough to allow them to organize themselves further so that we can progress with the negotiations on 24th.
Well, that's what Wilson Sossion had to say. Very calm, very, a dedicated announcement. But here's where the confusion was. The confusion now comes when KNUT has decided to give the government more time, up to the 24th of October, and KUPPET, which is the post-primary school teachers union, decided that, well, the talks have collapsed. And this is what they had to say. This is Akello Misori.
Talks have collapsed. And because the government side and Teacher Service Commission has deliberately not presented any offer. And it is unfortunate that the teaching fraternity in this country has been taken in circles because the talks have been a public relations exercise. And on that note, the National Governing Council of KUPPET convenes within 24 hours to issue a notice which will give strategic direction on an industrial action.
As we know, KNUT has the bigger share when it comes to members, and they have more control when it comes to negotiations as well. What happens here is that we don't know whether KUPPET will go ahead with the threat and decide to call a nationwide strike, and we don't know whether KNUT will decide to call a nationwide strike on the 24th. What we do know is that parents can just sit back and relax. At least parents for the primary school can sit back and relax for some time. Children will be able to go for the candidates will be able to sit for their exams. We know the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examinations start on the 21st of October. So that's okay for now. So here's what Sossion had to say about just basically the situation being normal.
We are not about to disrupt the teaching and learning between now and 24th. As negotiation goes on, then normal teaching continues until when we record a stalemate. A stalemate under the rules of negotiation must be recorded in the minutes of the negotiations and signed that there is a stalemate. We have not reached that. Once we reach that, then we'll proceed to the next level.
Again, this could have been played into the war, the turf wars or the supremacy battles that have been going on between KNUT and KUPPET. It is still not clear. We are waiting for the next 10 days for the 24th of October, where the discussions will continue. And until then, we can only give a decisive answer. But KUPPET says that they will do it in 24 hours. They will have a National Governing Council meeting, and they will decide from there whether to give a 7-day notice for a strike. And that would be post-primary school teachers, that is teachers in secondary schools. And we'll see how that plays out. But until then, that's all we have, and we'll keep you updated.